a really good abstract paint job here.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yes, that's Gary up there, and Steve, and me, Rich.C. Hello, everybody. So we're waiting for
keep talking so Gary doesn't start singing.
No, we'll plug his mic in a bit. We'll get started and let a few people join us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we'll look out for questions as you come in. So make sure you're putting those questions up in the chat, and we'll see what we can do to answer those as we go. But perhaps we can start off with something that was perhaps down in the bottom corner here on the screen.
Hey, well pointed. Yeah.
What's that all about then, Steve?
Hey! Yeah. We won the War Games Illustrated Best War Games Accessory Award for the 3rd year running. A hat trick. So if it was the World Cup, we get to keep it, wouldn't we?
The 3rd year?
Is that right? Yeah. So really pleased about that. And
we get a chance to see Rich do a hat trick. Yay!
Oh, that was terrible. So yeah, really pleased for everyone here that's been working hard over the last year. And it's a wide ranging category with some really cool stuff in it. So
it's not just buildings, is it?
No, it's accessories, everything, and there's a lot of people doing some really cool stuff. So to stand out in the crowd is in a year of very strange things is really cool. So yeah, very pleased with that. We'll get a team photo tomorrow, because I think tomorrow's the day when there's most people around to be able to get one. So yeah,
you're gonna cut and paste me in then.
Yeah, we'll get you on this. We'll get you on the screen on FaceTime, and then just hold you up in the middle of the photo.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Cool.
So well done, and thank you, everybody who voted. I think.
Yeah, very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, what else? Exciting news today? My good friend Ian at Flags of War, he sent me a calendar.
Oh, lovely.
Hey,
thank you.
So that'll be that's going up in my office. And what else have I done? I bought a king tiger from Rubicon, and I got my shipping notification today. So
oh, very nice. Which one is it?
I got the Zimmerit one.
Very nice.
Zimmerit pace. So yeah. So then we'll play water tanker or something. Then I'm going to play water tanker with you lot, and I'll just sit in the middle of the table and.
I've got a couple of T-34s I've got to build here.
So, yeah.
I've got to say though that those Rubicon kits, yeah, that's my one.
Yeah. So that's my Christmas present.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to design something where you can lift a drain cover and put a very large mine underneath yours. Then pull the drain cover, run away, and watch you go poof. How's that one sound, Rich?
I like the idea of that one.
Yeah, great.
I think there's a few of us with a few different tanks going in there, though. I think Annie's got a Stug. Who else has got stuff? Is George doing some?
George is doing something, yeah, and Mark is as well.
We released a couple of water tanks this last week.
Yeah,
yeah, put some tracks on those.
We'll be able to use these to put the files out.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So we've December doesn't seem to really calm down after Black Friday and everything. So,
but we've done a pretty good job of getting everything out the door, haven't we?
Yeah, there's a bit of randomness in some of the dispatches, because we've kind of leapfrogged far away places for closer places, and everything conscious of all the posting dates. But they've been pretty good job of keeping up with it all, and there's been a lot of stuff going out. So,
well,
good. Well,
I've added to my bookshelf. So I've got a classic. So that one, That's by Richard Windrow.
Yeah.
Quite a nice little extra. This one arrived. Thank you very much, Mel.
Cool.
And I've added more to that one. The important one.
That's
the key one from this year.
That's the ultimate book.
Yeah. Now, of course, one of the questions I know people are going to ask is what is happening to all the kits that we've seen in here, including this lovely one on the front. So that's new, with all those lovely bits up top.
Fire escapes and everything. Yeah. So, this year, 2020, was supposed to be the year of the book and the book kits.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't.
Do we know why?
No, I think there was something happened and we didn't quite. Yeah, it was supposed to be a year. It was supposed to be a year of road shows and going to events and seeing people face to face.
Yeah.
And talking about it and showing things off and releasing the books, and that didn't happen. So we decided this is why we'd started doing these rambling, video live things to make up for that. So next year we've sorted out. Next year, I think January, we start more of them. We had the little Mediterranean church was released a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
The substation, the electrical substation, was released last month. And then January starts the first of the big ranges that was part of what was in the book. So the Mediterranean house that's shown in there has got 12 kits, 12 other kits. There's more than that.
Crazy, doesn't it? Because we're going to push a batch of about...
Depends on how many floors you want to call. If you want to say adding all those extra floors in is a different house each time.
Yeah.
So
and there's different roofs as well. So
so there's a sort of core. The first of it is out January, and then there'll be some variations and little add-ons and bits that come out after. But there's a big pile of kits coming January for that.
My camera is sat on a box full of them at the moment.
Yeah. And then that involves some lovely intact ones and some that are not so intact.
Yeah.
And the way we've done the not so intact ones, I think people will quite like. But we'll leave more of that later.
Yeah, we'll tease that after. And then what else is there in January? January is we got another boat, haven't we?
We have a boat, yeah.
Boats? No. Those boats are just a pile of junk, so we don't need to.
Are they? Yeah, okay, yeah, rubbish. Junk. Yeah. They're all a lot of fooey, shall we say.
Hong Kong type Adam, I haven't got a typhoon. This one I'll have to do. It's got the rockets. Just answering Adam there.
Cool.
So we got lots of cool stuff coming in the new year, and in fact we've already got the whole year pretty much panned out, but we're not going to tell everybody about that. They'll have to wait till the next episode.
You say that, and then you know that what will happen is we'll have a conversation next week and it will change again and something new will appear.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Plans come out the window.
Yeah. So.
Yes, Well, we'll see what happens. Watch this space. Watch this space. We've come back to some of the stuff we've just released. Is the tokens. We've been messing about with some colour, haven't we?
Yeah. And you say that, and then I'm looking around and I've left them all at the other table.
But whilst you're looking, and you're not looking this direction, everybody, we've got a bit of a Gaslands thing going on. I've been doing some work on my first ever Gaslands car. So I've added a few big gold gun on the top there, some slicey blades on the side, obviously a nice big bumper. I'll add some spikes. Big exhaust.
He's back. You see how planned that was? I moved table where I was going to sit. I decided I want to sit somewhere else for some change of scenery and left it over there.
Did you find him?
I did, yes. So.
Excellent. And the reason behind it are Gaslands.
Well, that's not Gaslands. So
you're sat next to the table. We're out on the table with it all on. Yeah, there you go.
I know. Oh yeah.
I'm like there.
Here.
God, you got to get painting.
Start gate.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, what did I miss when I ran away?
Wow.
No, not a lot. Not a lot. I'm just reading comments. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll come to Edmund's comment there about trains in a little bit. So yeah, Gasland tokens. Can you flash those up again, please, Steve?
Yes.
Because they look like they were an MDF.
Yes, full colour, double-sided. Oh, look, you can see me through that. What the hole of the one I popped out.
So they're double-sided.
Yes.
Excellent. Looking forward to using those. So audience boat and ammo.
Yeah. And then double-sided hazard.
Cool. Now, big friend of Gaslands. Everybody will be able to find those from us.
Yeah. And I think North Star's got them as well. So there'll be anyway, if your local shop gets stuff from North Star, they'll have them in as well, along with the rather nice double-sided.
Oh, awesome. Double-sided, so we can use either end and switch them over. Switch on the curves as well.
Yes.
Excellent. What about the bombs and the sidey bits? Is there those?
Not yet. Sorry, I'm looking around what I've got here. Yeah. So no. Oh, Rich is frozen. No, he's not. He's just
reading comments. Cool. So I've been messing about with cars and getting a few bits and pieces together for our next bubble games night. I've just screwed my notes up and chucked them over my shoulder and realised it's wrong notes. So Gary, we haven't heard a lot from Gary at the moment. What's Gary been up to as well?
Well, I've been designing big stuff and buildings and things and instruction. You know, the usual stuff. Really, it's just there's bucket loads in the pipeline. But I mean, here this bit is just a couple of people actually PM'd me on Facebook and asked about. We mentioned something to do with super glue and repairs. And so having a think about it, I decided to put this together this morning because, well, Christmas is coming and lots of kits could be broken. So, you know, the fine stuff. So I thought this is one of the last technical things in the book. And it just goes through how you can repair stuff or strengthen them. So what I've got here, just as a quick demo this evening before I then move the camera and stuff like that, is a how-to. I have broken a stick. There you go, rough enough. And quite often it's a real difficulty putting things together. So in the book, basically what it says is it's easy to repair it. What I've got is super glue and bicarb soda. So all I'm going to do on a flat surface, position on a piece of polythene, because super glue doesn't stick to polythene. I'm actually going to put in, and this is why it's quite quick. I've had this on its side. I use super glue gel. Liquid super glue is just as good. Quite often, use the super glue. If it's liquid, you can see I'm pushing that right in there. Now, as a lot of people will say, well, that's not really going to do the job.
Especially on a really thin window frame or something.
Yeah, well, what I actually do is I'm going to put a little bit more on there. And this is crazy. It is crazy. Bicarbonate soda. And then you put it on and leave it for a couple of seconds, not too long. If it's liquid super glue, what happens is capillary action goes into the MDF a lot further. What I'm doing, patting it down. And this is where it's worked so many times. And then it goes Blue Peter on us.
Doesn't it always live on TV?
So you can still see there's a bit of wet super glue on that side, but it's dried on that one. So pick up all of that. Give it a couple of seconds to dry. And you can already see I am actually putting some force on this.
Yeah, nice and solid.
That was broken 3mm MDF, deliberately 3mm because that's a bit fluffier on the inside. doesn't want to move. And the next thing is you can actually cut it off. I use sometimes always the best thing, and that you lose them when you are moving things around to get prepared. I use nail clippers sometimes. You can see how hard that is.
I've actually seen that done as a to repair chips and floor tiles and things.
Yeah.
You can fill it up with super glue and bicarb, and then you can sand it flat, and then just a bit of paint or something and blend it in, and it goes like literally like concrete.
Yeah,
you can see some of it's coming off, and it's still a bit wet underneath. Bit more, and then you can, as Steve says, you can actually sand it down. And you can see I've only just glued this, literally. This is why I'm saying it's minutes. You can sand that down.
Push forward a bit, Gary. You're just
sorry,
camera.
just out. There you go. You can sand that down, and it goes dead flat. Okay, my board's not on a flat surface, but
easy. There
you go.
Lovely
And
job.
that, again, I mean, that was glued a couple of seconds ago. Minute or so to go.
Yeah.
Now, I really have to force that to get that to break. And that would be repairable yet again, because you're not, it's hardened on the ends.
Now that's 3 mils, so that's quite, you mentioned it's fluffy.
Yeah, it's softer on the inside, yes.
Yeah, so when you're doing that on 2 mil, I've always found it a much stronger join.
Yeah, and what you can do with the 2 mil, if you want to, just clean the ends up. If you know the length of the component that's broken, you could actually clean it up, leave a little chamfer on each side, and put that soda and the glue inside it, and it forms like a filler bond at the same time.
Right,
yeah. I know some people have used newspaper. I've used newspaper a bit as well across the gap.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of everything, just holding it all together nice and solid.
That allows you to sand it down. And the thing I broke deliberately in the book was a small cart.
Yes.
One of the Japanese carts. I broke it in 3 or 4 places that you think, oh man, that's irritating. But it really, really does do the job. And then once you paint it and stuff, it becomes rigid. As a final one, using the same technique, as you can see, I'm in the middle of a silly little scene, snow scene. And I've actually glued that tree. These were £2 at Hobbycraft. They were bright yellow this morning, so I've sprayed them. Simple wire brush ones. That was glued on using the same technique.
Yep.
And it gets harder as it goes.
You can build it up as well, can't you? Build up your trunk texture.
Yeah. All I did with this one, you can see, is put a dollop of glue on. Not great if I'm in the way of the camera.
Just about
on the side for an hour. There we go. Whee! Far too much. However, again, that's in the way. Normally, you're waiting for ages for your filler or whatever it is to dry. Pat it down.
Bicarb and glue. Gary?
Yeah.
And glue out the way.
All right, there you go. I'm sort of I think I might have glued the MDF to the work surface.
Yeah.
There you go. It's moving.
See, AJ normally just glues himself to the building.
Yeah, that's standard practice though for terrain. Gluing yourself and leaving part of yourself behind with every piece of terrain. It's like a passage. It's not going to be a good piece unless you've left a bit of you on there.
So that's pretty firm on there. And if you want to make sure, just add a bit more. Excuse me.
Oh, your window's open, Gary.
Oh yeah, no, won't worry about that one. That's another thing I'm going to use in the limit without a mask. So this, literally, just pile it on, pat it in, because the patting in just actually forces some of the super glue together with the... And of course, if you've got, as I've just done, spread super glue everywhere, force a habit, that'll harden that off quicker.
Yeah.
And you can then cut it off with a knife as opposed to waiting it and it covering your hands. So that, give it a couple of seconds more to dry, gives you a really firm base to work on.
Yeah, with no pinning or
No
messing
pinning,
about.
no drilling, no nothing. You haven't got a big lump of filler or anything on there. You can cut the excess off. Hello, there's what Rich was on about. It's gassing away now. Yeah, the glue. And then it is literally, again, if I can get the glue to come out quick, I've done it as separate discs just for the demonstration.
You can glue 1 or 2 in and leave 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So you can take them out and put your troops inside your.
Yeah, exactly. And so what I've also doing is I'm actually going to use a bit of spray mount. Nearly pulled my ears out then with the headphones. That's a couple of quid pot of white powder paint, bit of spray mount on there. If you do spray mount a couple of times, you'll start building it up. That'll give you a nice little, that dusted tree look.
Yeah.
Saves plaster. And if you then spray it with a little bit of spray PVA,
that'll just stay mounted there.
It sets it, yeah.
That's cool.
So that's that, and then literally that'll glue for a couple of quid. That's not a bad way of knocking some trees out.
Yes.
And the base has been done with the on there. That's PVA mixed with the powder paint. Oops, sorry for that. That's what you get for using gel
and rushing. Yeah.
And rushing.
Cool.
So that PVA and white powder paint will just mix together and goes on like a thick, gooey white gel, like almost like icing for an icing cake, which is why I thought I'd do it today. Christmas, isn't it? Bit of goo.
We'll see Gary's nativity set later on.
Well, yeah, I shall finish that tomorrow and probably put some photographs up.
Cool.
And
we'll look for those next, yeah.
But yeah, there you go. That's what I've been working on and fiddling with, just for the fun of it, really, while doing stuff. Taking a break from the CAD.
Well, whilst you've been doing that, we've got a few questions coming in.
Cool.
Fire away, shall we? Do you want to
shift
Andy Lyon hopes you've got a Hoover.
Yeah, thank you, bud. Yeah, everywhere. Hello.
Hey, hello.
There we go. Ta-da.
John Harrington's asked, you released a range of trains from steam trains to diesel shunters via armoured trains and electric engines. What's next in this eclectic list?
Well,
London Tube, perhaps?
Well, yes, we had discussions about that at the beginning of the week, something to do with
I think it's after a Deltic logo. A Deltic. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've got a Yang to do a famous postal train from about 1963, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
a
couple of arches, a couple of fans,
bit of embankment,
bit of a blagging crew. Yeah. Yeah, that's my unit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what. Yeah, but or maybe a tube train or something like that.
Yeah.
Should do something.
Well, I quite like the we've thrown around ideas of steampunk, sort of the monorail type, the American tubes. That type.
Yeah. Yeah, they what is it? Transit trains.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Lots of gantries and stuff.
Yeah.
We put a couple of pictures up earlier, Gary. The Roman villa and the Dark Ages villa farm.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about the sort of storyline? Because you often put a storyline into what you're doing with your kits.
Yeah.
And those two are an interesting example of where that story sort of takes us from the beginning through.
Yeah, we did the Roman villa. first? I'm not even too sure which came first, the 20 or
It was.
28.
We did the 20. We did the 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it then becomes a bit of a, oh, well, what happens when Rome leaves, or what happens if this happens and stuff. So the villa you put up is the Dark Age version, where it's all gone a bit wrong.
Yeah, it's gone to ruin, and then someone else has come along and done some improvements on it.
And some of it sparks off when Steve and I were talking about buildings, how like timber frame buildings, early ones, didn't have stairs. They were just a massive hall, and then, or they're a bungalow, single level thing.
Or they had a loft, just like a loft, a raised loft with a set of ladder going up to it, and that was it. That was upstairs.
And and what happens is what they change over time as culture changes, people change, and stuff like that. So that's how the story. I envisage that lovely Roman villa, little Roman farm villa, just changing over time. What would happen? We get a piggery in that wing because the roof fell in, or that'll do as a stables for the sheep and the cow. While we try and live it up with what's left of, we better put the wood pile where the lean-to used to be. Well, it wasn't a lean-to; it's a lovely veranda. But it's the excuses people tell themselves that they're improving their life by everything else. And the Greek one was, when people think of Greek, it's how Greek, what Greek, and it's the same sort of, the story gets told. Is it they've made a big platform and stuff like that, and the tower, well, it starts off as a small courtyard and then it builds up. In fact, if you go around a lot of hilly places in the UK, you can actually see where the farm is on a flat plateau. Didn't start that way. That's the rubbish pile. That's the flattening out of soil. That's where all the stuff and then as time goes by, it firms up and they start building onto it. And that's similar to how I envisage that Greek thing happening. And that's really, it's just the history of how people use buildings as much as anything. And it's at what time we stop.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is we'll stop it there. It would be a really interesting thing to take a house from the earliest square thing and how if people grew bigger and a bigger farm, more complex, and then they they knock it down in 1700 and build a mansion. That sort of thing.
There's so many that you can see the roof line still where something was, but the roof line's changed. Different
and you only need to go onto farms now and you see the original farmhouse is there as it was 200 years ago, but then it's got a shed, a tractor shed's been built 10 years ago and it's all steel framed and clad, and it's a completely different, makes it look different, look modern, but a lot of it could have been there for 200-300 years.
Well, where I live is that the buildings, some of them look very late Georgian Victorian and actually very late Victorian, and when you go around the back of them, they're still 1600 timber frame buildings. All they did was just add a bit of decoration and build up the front, encroach on the land in front to make their shops bigger or their hotel or whatever it is now. I mean, we've got one that's a hotel. It's a rambling run of about 7 buildings, and it's just grown from the pub. They've gotten bigger and bigger, and they put a few posh bits on the other end. So it's just like that.
I'd be interested to see if somebody was to take the kits and do that type of storyline or build that in. I think it helps when you're doing dioramas or building a table as well.
Well, if you look at if you think about crossing the Rhine, for example, and the army, you'd have Austrian or timber frame buildings in amongst what would be 19th century building. The whole thing aesthetic isn't going to just be one style.
No.
In parts of France, it's one style because of the obliteration of towns in the World War I situation, and the same in some parts of Germany where the towns were just flattened, and then they rebuilt for that period. But other than that, the towns are all mishmash. And if you do like a near future game, you can have steel and chrome right next to brick and timber, because that's
and then you get the pseudo stuff where they've actually tried to. It's a modern building. They've tried to copy a style to make it fit the building next to it and things like that, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's
a bit Disney.
Yeah. Well, what, the Jetsons? Yeah. They tried to be futuristic as well. It's that double whammy of trying to go beyond.
As mentioned, books on architectural history.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it Shires? Is that a bookstore? Useful titles, including one on Roman villas.
Yeah. Well, I'm always looking through books. It's pictures. I've always done pictures. Don't read.
Yeah. And there's some cool stuff. We need to share some stuff on Instagram because there's some really cool architectural photographers that just put loads of really cool stuff. Yeah, some brutal architecture stuff, and they just go around and you look at it and it looks like something from a science fiction film, and you find out it's a 1970s power plant in Poland, you know.
Yeah.
Is there a specific name for that style, Gary?
It is brutalism. It follows on from the 1950s where they were trying to do modernism with concrete and things like that. Unfortunately, well, this is my design aesthetic opinion, so I might be qualified, but not as high as some of these brains that do it. But what happens is, like any fashion, you get Le Corbusier, beautiful buildings, Frank Lloyd Wright, beautiful buildings, but then you get some guy who's not as skilled at it, and they're copying it, and they're using substandard materials, or they're just not quite. It's not got that as a lecturer used to do to me. It's like, you've got that, and it's like they don't quite get it. They don't quite, and then you get this. It's like, yeah, it's just a block of flats, isn't it? It's got no life to it. And Brasilia, when it became the capital of Brazil originally, that's all designed in all of that concrete and big blocks and everything. The illustrations that they did, the concept sketches, are amazing.
But the actual reality through design.
Yeah. It is that thing from concept sketch or concept to actual completion. Quite often, I'm not saying it loses it, but it really you have to keep that continuity going in design. And yeah, sometimes it's like, as Steve says, these people trying to pastiche the past.
Yeah.
And you quite rightly said it just looks Disney.
Yeah. But that brings us back around to something like our Mediterranean church, which we released fairly recently. The design of it is really quite compact, quite neat and tidy. Roof pops off so you can get in and move your troops. Yeah. So would you say you're trying to take those actual buildings and using those sort of combination of modeling skills, awareness of architectural design briefs or aesthetics, trying to bring them together, mold them together?
Honestly, every building or kit, I go through that whole thing of trying to figure out. It starts with a paper sketch, hand drawn, whatever it is, mainly lots of notes. You end up sometimes writing essays of notes on there about how it's going to go together, because you've got to bring all of that thinking in. It's not it. You can do a beautiful building that could be a real pain to assemble, or it could be too finer parts to cut. It could be too many layers and levels, so it weighs a ton going through the door. So
if it lands on your dog,
that poor gerbil that escaped from the cage as the NBF hits it. It's that sort of thing. You go through all of those loops, and then you keep checking as you go. And you could throw something together and it looks, but you're trying to balance that pastiche of, this looks like, I love the Mediterranean house there, because I mean it's double-sided for a start, so you can
Yeah.
choose villagey or towny or coastal or harbour look and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But actually, I did a lot of research on it. I mean, Carol and I went to Italy a couple of times anyway, a couple of years ago. So
That's
it's
what
basically,
you
but there's that sort of thing, and the same with the Rome kits. It's actually looking a bit of history about what really Roman buildings look like, and talking to a few people at museums. So there's a lot of thinking goes, and then same with the vehicles. You're trying to make something flat, curved, or look as if it's curved, even though it's not curved. And that's
where some of our sci-fi scenery is just outstanding, because it's got the curved aesthetic to it as well, hasn't it?
And that is the thing with the sci-fi stuff. Sci-fi there is an aesthetic to sci-fi, and there's a credibility to it. Do you see what I mean? It's got to still look like some creature, because it's all about, you know, not necessarily human-like, or something has created this, and it's got to be practical. You know, it can't be it just landed and it's got spikes and it looks, you know, it does that. It's like, well, how, you know,
how's it evolved to become and what's
and I think you know, sci-fi buildings still have to have a function, don't they?
Yeah. And that's and then it's a function in the game as well. You gamers will be saying, well, I can't put my figures through the door. We're back to doors again, Steve. It's obviously something I can't let go.
Make sure you get
but it's that then you start bringing in the modelers have got to put it together, the painters have got to be able to paint it, the laser cutters have got to be able to laser cut it, you've got to pack it, the postman's got to be able to carry the thing, and every single part. And honestly, for years, that's where Steve and I have been backwards and forwards talking about the whole thing, and we've got to do it in a time to be costed. So, you know, and then that's a lot of thinking.
Yes. Well, maybe we look at that in January as the first kits start rolling out. As we said, we're looking at the bit of Mediterranean as well for the new year, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of what you've just been talking about is going to be quite evident in how those have gone together. And I think anybody who's looking forward to doing a bit of Mediterranean battlefields, the Italian sort of campaigns, my
next phase is I've got to start researching. I know I have done it, but what they look like in, say, 1943, 44 in places. They're not that glorious red paint job, but they're a bit downbeat.
They're a bit weather worn.
Yeah.
So to begin with, we've got enough parts within those kits to take you through Napoleonic eras through to modern day, really.
Yeah.
So plenty of periods you can cover with just those few kits and the options that we're going to provide with those as well. So something to look forward to in January.
Yeah.
On that note, we should probably say goodbye and let everybody escape to say Merry Christmas.
We will say Merry Christmas in a very different way.
Gary.
Was that too fast?
That's too fast.
First aeroplane to go backwards.
Little bit. What was that? Oh, that's awesome, Gary.
So guess what Gary's been playing with today?
Oh, Merry Christmas. Thank you, Gary.
Is that a new kit, Gary?
No,
not at the moment.
Don't say anything about them fly things.
But it's a boat as well. Look, Gritch.
Oh, no.
It's a boat on the plane.
In the new year, then,
Merry Christmas, folks.
Yes.
Hey. So I haven't said Merry Christmas to everybody who's been waving at us on the comments there, but thank you very much. Put your comments.
Yes, Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for your support this year, guys. And
thank you, and thanks for watching us three idiots. Probably.
Got to get ready for that season.
Have a really good, safe, sensible, but alcoholic. No, I can't say that. Sorry.
No, you can't say that.
Yes. Yes, everyone. So Merry Christmas, and we will see you in the new year.
In the new year, yes.
Somewhere around the 15th, I think. But hey,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's us, guys. See you later.
Yeah. See ya. Bye.
Bye. I can't see what about.